Honey, 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 won't you open that door? And this is your sweet daddy, don't you love me no more? It's cold outside, let me sleep on the floor. Well, honey, won't you open that door? Hey, Inspired Tribe.
Are we live?
We're absolutely live.
Oh.
Every single word we sang was live.
My Lord.
Tribesters, welcome to the Inspired Livestream number 168. It is Tuesday, June 1st. June 1st, 2020, WON 21. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free, we're together, we're thriving, and we're going to do some really cool things today together. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in with us, coming with us on this journey, allowing us to contribute all to this beautiful soup that we're cooking up here. And it's been a beautiful long weekend because we had Memorial Day yesterday, and a Memorial Day in the U.S., for those who don't know, is the day when everyone collectively as a nation, we remember the fallen heroes of past and present wars. And so it's something that is being humbly celebrated all across the country. And my thought, I shared it yesterday in that short live stream that I put up yesterday, is that the best way we can honor their memory, not just one specific day, but every day, is to come together and keep the peace, create more harmony. And that's what we want to do here in the tribe as well. That's what I feel we have been doing and we are doing. So let's do that every day. Let's set also the intention for today's live stream for that. So we're excited that you're here. Oh, Olga, thank you so much for your contribution. It's very generous of you. Thank you. We really appreciate it. We really do. And today we want to jump into a topic with you guys because as always, one thing that's always on Kristine's and my mind and heart is to teach something and encourage and inspire practical things. And what that means is, how can you get on this journey and what this journey is really about? And I'll get to that a little later. How can you really get to the essence of this, and what are some practical things? And so that's really important to us. Because giving inspiration and kind of igniting that spark, that's really, really wonderful to do. But also having something practical, practices and tools and an understanding is very important too. So over the years, and this has been probably a trade for Kristine and I even before we met each other. But what we want to talk about today is something we're constantly doing. It's not something we do on and off. It's not something that we practice here and there and then forget about it. It is something that is so in our blood. It is so within us that we can't even help but doing it and help but doing it all the time. And it's something that most people overlook. It's literally the difference, not just between success. And we're not just talking about material success at all. It's the difference between true excellence. And what is excellence? We'll get to that in a minute. True excellence in life, in the things and everything that you do, or mediocrity. And there's nothing, I can tell you this, there's nothing that Kristine and I like less than mediocrity. And we don't do that. We don't live a mediocre life. We don't live a mediocre love. We don't live mediocre ideas. We don't have mediocre thoughts. But if you don't do this thing that we will talk about today, that's where you'll end up. It's that mediocrity. And I want to jump before we kind of solve the riddle, what the word is that we're talking about here, because it's a really, really cool word. So stick around. I want to talk about excellence and why we use that word too. I believe, especially in our Western culture, we've achieved now a level of comfort and a level of technology and a level of all of those things that as individuals, sometimes we are so content is maybe the right word, with mediocrity. But if you look at your body, if you look at just this temple is a temple of excellence. Look at what it does and how it functions. Look at all the little details that it can accomplish. Look at the millions of little processes that our bodies, our brains, our nervous systems, our biochemistry, our cells, our molecules, how everything functions perfectly together. This is excellence. It's pure excellence. It's pure excellence. Just like everything in nature is pure excellence. So we have, for us, it's our intention for ourselves to practice excellence and to become excellent at the things that we do, at the things that we enjoy, at the things that we are. But what is that excellence? It's, if you didn't define what that is, how can you work at it? How can you do what we're doing all the time? This one thing that we are doing all the time. And I quickly want to jump into what excellence could mean. It is one definition that speaks very strongly to me. It's a kind of something that has three components. The first and the foundational components of excellence is purpose, is experiencing the feeling of purpose. And what does purpose mean? Purpose means that you feel called. You feel called to do or be something that is usually greater than yourself. Bless you, my love.
Sorry.
In German, we would say, see, it's true. When someone sneezes at a very specific time in a conversation, you say it's true. It's true. So purpose means that you feel a calling to do or be something or express something or give something that is beyond yourself. It's bigger than you. It's for the common good, if you will. It entails more than just your self-interest. So then when you're on purpose, that means that you live a life that has meaning and you do something that has meaning. And so, but what we have to become clear here, purpose isn't just this one big thing, right? It's not just this one life's purpose, one thing, and that purpose is so many little things too. When I was younger in growing up, I would do lots of sports and arts, music, dancing, skiing, riding dirt bikes, any and everything you could think of. But what I was always striving for in everything I did, and I felt that was always a calling. I wanted to get as good, as perfect as possible, as excellent, if you will, as possible at something. But I felt only where I felt the purpose. And you'd be surprised. I would take my rollerblades and I would practice certain turns and practice certain moves hours at a time. And nobody understood what I was doing, but I just felt the calling to get excellent at this. So the first part of this trifecta of excellence is purpose. Only when you have a purpose can you strive towards excellence. When you feel that purpose in whatever you do. The second part is being really good at it and becoming really good at it is competence. Knowing a lot about it, understanding a lot about it, expanding on that topic more and more and more. And competence is not something that you get simply by knowing your purpose. It is something that you acquire and gather and expand on and work on. And it is not just knowledge either. It is experience. It is fine-tuning, right? So competence is really understanding and knowing a lot about something, about that thing that you feel called to and have a purpose towards. And then the third element of this equation is responsibility or accountability, in terms of that if you feel the calling, and if you're really good at this and you become really good at this and you practice and you do all the things that you want to do and feel called to do, that you then actually follow through and do it and show up and show up. And that's where we will get to that fourth part that is not in here, but that Kristin and I have been practicing separately from each other before we even met, and especially together since we met. This has been, and we don't even know it anymore because we don't call it that, but we just look back and then we see we've been doing this so much. And what we call tweaking. And I'm a songwriter, right? I write songs. I've been writing songs since I was 14 years old. And I have a very specific process. And I don't write by myself, I love writing by myself, but I write with other writers too. It's a very common thing, co-writing. We do a lot of it in Nashville. And tweaking, that is the last component, but the most important component of songwriting, because that's when you think you have a finished song, When you think it's all done, the melody is there, the words are there, the rhythm is there, the tempo is there, everything is there. But that's when the process of tweaking starts. That's when you usually take something that's good and make it great. And if you allow, it's as much doing as it is allowing. First allowing, then doing. If you really allow it, then you get to excellence. And tweaking means that when you feel that purpose, when you feel called to do something, and when you are competent, when you really know a lot of things about it, and when you are really knowledgeable and experienced at it, and when you are accountable, which means you keep showing up, you keep doing it, tweaking is that part that keeps making you better and better and better and better. But not just you, also what you do, also what you put out. And tweaking is the last few percent of whatever it is that you do, whether you have a product, whether you are the product and you are advising someone, or you're helping someone, or you're coaching someone. And it doesn't matter what it is, but tweaking is the thing that we have done most. And tweaking often makes the difference between something being highly successful, reaching a lot of people and bringing a lot of value to great numbers of people, or not reaching people at all. And so many times, Kristin and I this is usually what happens. We're always what we call ahead of the curve in our own journey. It's when we can see into the future what our next beautiful purpose is, and we start at it and we get started at it, but the components are not coming together yet. And so we now know, after so many years, that we're usually 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 6, 7 years ahead of the curve before it actually all comes to fruition. So, but what it gives us is this amazing, beautiful time span to tweak and to get better and to get clear and to get more on point. But tweaking is not just something that you do with an ability. It's not just something that you do with a job or a profession or a calling in the professional sense. Tweaking is also something that we do spiritually. And this sounds almost like, how do you tweak spiritually? What does that mean? It means that your relationship, and this is what everything is about. Listen, everything is about that relationship with the Creator, because everything you do, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. Everything that you do is really to get to that point where you feel this deep connection, whether it's money, whether it's love or friendships or success or fitness or whatever these things are. And not that any of these things in themselves aren't wonderful and aren't worthwhile, but really what we always desire is to get to that point where we feel whole, where we feel fulfilled. And so that relationship with the Creator, that's the grandest tweaking that you can do. It's showing up for your meditations. It's really giving yourself. Giving yourself. What does that mean? It's not doing so much. Giving yourself is overcoming all of those human ego emotions, overcoming all of those ego needs, overcoming the self-importance, overcoming those things when you go into a meditation or deeper processes, and giving yourself to Source, to God, to whatever you want to call that eternal, all that is Force. The giving yourself requires a constant tweaking in a little more today. I'm going a little deeper today. And when you don't do that, when you don't have that aspiration, you land right in the middle of mediocrity. This is where things aren't bad at all, but they're not really good either. There's somewhere down the middle, and this is the existence for so many people. They reach a certain level, they plateau, and then they ride it out. And while they were hoping for the golden years, they're so used to that plateau, that mediocrity, that they never, ever reach those golden years. They never, ever reach that golden feeling. And tweaking has been our secret. I have a process as a songwriter where I sit with a song and I repeat one line over and over and over and over and over. It's such an exhaustion that everyone around me is they just have to walk away because they can't hear it for the 100th time, but I play it 100 times and I hear myself sing the line and I hear the words and I tweak the melody and I tweak the pronunciation. I tweak the intonation. I tweak the little details. until I feel it's all there. It's all coming together. And I allow for source to work through me. It's not a mind game. It's not where you go and, I'm going to make this better. You just allow, you keep allowing until you feel you're on point. And this is something in our civilization, in our culture, in our Western culture, there's very little room for that because people think it's perfection. It's excellence. Perfection, it's such an abstract thing. How do you ever reach it? But excellence is when you feel in that moment, this is as good as it can get right now. It doesn't mean tomorrow it won't be able to get better. But right now, that's what it is. It's when your purpose meets your competence, your knowledge, your experience, your wisdom, all that you've put around it. And you keep showing up. That's the accountability part. You just keep showing up. Sometimes tweaking means to show up when you don't want to show up. Well, sometimes it also means to not show up. Some days, you got to know, you got to feel that's tweaking too. Give it a break, give it a breather. What is that beautiful word? What it does in the body when the when you eat apples? Oh my God, I can't think of it. Tell me what happens. Rose, it's a chemical process. What happens in the body? At any rate, so tweaking means that you have this aspiration for something to become as good as it gets. And then you do your part for it to become so. And Kristin and I have discovered, that in our childhoods, when we didn't know each other, we would do the same thing. We would play tennis, I didn't play competitively, just recreational. But we would find a wall and play with each other to perfect it, to get to that level of excellence where it's as good as it can get. Hit the ball just right, slice it just right, be at the right time. And that we would do with so many things. And still today, there was something, I did a little tweaking on our logo for the YouTube channel. If you look at the logo of our channel, the icon up there, it's a little different than it was just 2 days ago. A little different. It's not big, but that to me is tweaking. I need a little more sparkle now. And it's time to bring it to a new level. It's time to elevate it even more. And Illy's saying here, practice, practice, practice. And that's the name of the game, of course. It's the showing up part. It's the being in the spirit of something. And you can only do that. You can only achieve excellence when you have that foundational thing that is purpose. That's why we say it all begins there. And purpose you only really find when you have that relationship with the Creator, because you're downloading that. And then your purpose can be to do something as simple as delivering something to someone. Purpose can be to just be there and listen to someone. Purpose can be to learn how to hit the ball, the tennis ball or the baseball or any ball just right. It might not be for what you think it is. It just might be that 20 years down the road, you're at a tennis match. And because you hit that ball just right, you start a conversation with someone that ends up being the love of your life. And it all happened because they were so in awe of your beautiful tennis game. So you don't know how the universe is going to orchestrate those things for you. But what you can do is tweaking, getting better and showing up. And it begins with that spiritual practice. That's what I love about the Eastern, and even in the if you go into the Christian monasteries, and there's some beautiful, wonderful Christian monasteries, we hear a lot of negative things, but there's some really positive things too. And what these people do, they show up for their prayer, and they devote themselves to the process. You have to give yourself. That's the tweaking part. And eventually you find yourself in a place you've never been before, and something becomes so beautiful, a piece of art, a piece of music, a poem, a book, just a letter, whatever it is. Maybe you create websites. Maybe you tweak. Maybe you tweak until it's a flowing experience. And you know the difference. If you watch someone, it doesn't matter what they do. That's the beauty in this. People only think only artists, only dancers, musicians, orchestras, only these kind of people achieve that. But no. If you watch someone who is excellent at something, it doesn't matter what they do. It's an inspiring experience. If you've ever been at an Asian restaurant and there are these people, or Japanese to be specific, that do the sushi rolls. If you've ever watched a sushi master, a sushi chef, and they've done something for so long, and they do it with their spirit, and they prepare these roles. It is a fluent experience. It's like you watch an artist prepare this. Everything is perfectly aligned and timed, and there's just this beautiful, beautiful orchestration. And that happens when you become excellent at something. And you can only become that when you allow yourself to become better. That means that you also allow yourself to realize you're never there. There's never a destination. That's the plateau. As soon as you believe, okay, I know everything there is to know, I can't get better at something. It's a funny thing, actually. I'm just thinking about, I had a first sub or unconscious experience with the all that is and the eternal laws of the universe at about 14, when I was given a book that was, part of the Bhagavad Gita. And I read that and I felt it, but also was kind of too early in my life to really, really grasp it at a practical level. But later, when the popular book The Secret came out, I will never forget the experience of reading the book when it came out. And when I finished the book, I put it on a nightstand. Christine was already asleep. Put it on a nightstand, turn off the light, and I thought to myself, now I know everything there is to know. What else could there be to know? I know it all now. Yeah, this pretty much explains everything. I got it. Now I'm going to just chill because there's really nothing. What else could there be to know? And boy, did life inspire me to tweak. Did life inspire me to tweak and show up for some more work and show up for some more excellence and show up for some more devotion and dedication to the process. And so when you escape the idea of mediocrity, that, your relationship with God is something that happens once a week in a building, or your relationship with God is something that is defined by a prescripted prayer or by and I'm not speaking against that. I'm not speaking against scripture or any of that. But when your relationship with God is defined by something that is outside of you, then allow yourself to tweak some more and go within, show up every day. That's the most important tweaking part you can do. And what I've learned is
But it's not efforting.
It's not efforting. No, it's a loving showing up. It's a giving yourself to it. It's a knowing that there's a purpose. And the greater the master we have met, the greater their dedication to that process of tweaking, of giving themselves, of becoming even more devoted to it. And that's a quality that once you acquire it, it becomes your nature, it will be with you all your life. And you will just want to do whatever you do with excellence. It's just something that you are. It's not a obsession. It's not a showing others that you're better than them. It's not the need to be first, best. That's not it. It's understanding that you are created from excellence. You are created from that beautiful, all-encompassing excellence that is the all that is, the Almighty God, the all everything. And so it's a natural striving. And if you allow for the pressures of the world to not touch you, the comparison thing, but just you. How can I become better today than I was yesterday? How can I become clearer? How can I become more connected? How can I become more loving? How can I serve better? All of those things, internal questions. If you allow yourself to do that tweaking part, I bet some of you thought I was going to say twerking. And even at twerking, you got to tweak a lot to twerk really good. I've seen some bad twerkers, not going to lie, but seen some really good twerkers. It's an interesting thing how that works. Even that requires a lot of tweaking. Everything does. But true excellence is such an inspiring thing. And it's excellence is when something changes something that is bigger than itself. That's when real excellence happens. It's when you experience a moment, when someone speaks, someone sings, someone paints, someone maybe does something as simple as preparing a meal or whatever it is they do. And in their presence, you experience such greatness, such excellence that you yourself are changed. Then what they do, what they express is greater than themselves. And it changes you. It changes how you view the world. It gives you inspiration to experience it yourself, to go there yourself. And so that's a showing up, that's a tweaking every day. And sometimes it's just a little thing, sometimes it's the big things. But it's the striving for excellence. And remember, once again, write that down. It's a really cool equation. Maybe you can add to it and make it even clearer and better. It's just one I really love. Is first and foremost finding a purpose, not the purpose necessarily, because you'll have multiple ones, but you'll feel one that's always stronger, that kind of entails all of the others. And then on that purpose, when you live on it, then you naturally want to read about it, pray on it, meditate on it, talk to others about it, learn as much as you can about it, go and study others and their experiences and all of that, right? Then you become really competent, really, really knowledgeable and wise about it. And then the last part of excellence is the repetition part, the tweaking part, the showing up part, the practice part, the accountability part. And if you do it in that order, you will find yourself needing very little effort, because you will mostly be inspired to do that. Because purpose inspires. Purpose truly inspires. It just keeps you showing up. It keeps us showing up. We're here. We're inspired to be here. And so that's the tweaking part of our journey. And we can't tell you, and we want to be practical about this. Certain things that we're teaching today, that we're presenting today, that we're giving out today, that we're doing courses today, we have been tweaking for 10, 15 years. These visions were out there before. We've just made them better, clearer, pure, better, clearer, pure. Expansion, 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 tweaking, tweaking, tweaking. And why I'm telling you this is because you need to understand something. There's a beautiful thing that Tony Robbins always says. I love that. Most people totally overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and completely underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. It's a very practical thing. It doesn't mean close yourself off to possibility. It's just allow for the gestation. That was the word. Thank you. Now came gestation. Allow for that gestation period and become better, become better, become better. Chances are what you felt is your initial purpose is your initial purpose, is still your purpose. You've just maybe given up too soon. You've just maybe turned around and thought, no, not going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to come to fruition. It's going to present itself in its full beauty. And you're going to then cherish the journey even more, because you then have the full picture that it required all of this tweaking for you to be there, for you to be ready, for you to be in the vibration of it, for you to be really in the frequency of it, for you to really then be ready for everything that comes your way when you've tweaked and tweaked and tweaked. And then you just keep tweaking, because a new experience on a grander scale brings new inspiration to tweak. Because when you do something on a grander scale, whole new opportunities arise that require a whole new mindset and a whole new level of excellence. And when that's your standard for yourself, then you will attract people into your life that have the same standard, and you will complement each other, and wonderful things happen in all areas of your life. It's a really powerful thing. We'll continue to do it, and we'll continue to teach it. We encourage our tribe constantly. If we teach you tools, practices, if we teach you techniques and meditations, show up, practice every day. There's a reason why we do that. Everything that we teach, we've done hundreds of times, sometimes thousands of times. We're still doing it, and we're still tweaking it. And so words don't teach, words inspire. Words show. Words are arrows that point to something. Experience does teach. Your personal experience gives you the feelings, gives you the real realization of something. So that's the doing part. That's the inspired action part, the inspired being part. And that's all you. It's all you every day. But it's so beautiful. So begin with the purpose and allow yourself that gestation period. Chances are you're already in the midst of it, and it's already been gestating, and chances are that some of those things are coming to fruition very quickly for you, or already have been coming to fruition. And then just keep tweaking. It's so enjoyable. Inspired Tribe, thank you for your co-creative energy in this. We love you all very, very much. I'm going to enjoy so much going through the comments once we log off here. And we'll be back on Thursday, 2 p.m. Central.
He's saying one word.
Well, Illy, you're giving away a secret. But now we're letting all of the tribe in. Okay, it's a good idea. Thank you, Illy. Here's a secret that something that we use at the end of every session, whether that's in a course, whether that's in the Inspired Coaching Academy, or whether that's in any of the courses we do, is one word. How do you feel right now? And everyone gets one word to express how they feel right now. So please put it in the live chat. How do you feel right now? One word. And while you do that, I'm going to send out a loving thank you to everyone who's already contacted us, and a loving please if you feel inspired to work with one of our junior coaches as a practice client, which is free of charge for you. Then please send us an email to 365inspiredliving@gmail.com. They've been in the Inspired Coaching Academy since the beginning of the year. They're becoming better and better and better. They're tweaking every day. They're tweaking at it. And they are always very appreciative of practice clients who work with them to let them practice their techniques, let them practice the practices, the tools, and everything in between.
Well, and if you feel kind of stuck or need a change or need just a little push or whatever it is, or the same problems coming up in your life, you are the right person for it.
The wise word from the other side, a wise voice from the other side. Maybe you feel anxiety or pressure, or you feel like you are, something is holding you back, or maybe there's something you really desire to do but haven't found a path yet. All of those things, our junior coaches are looking for practice clients. And of course, Kristin and I are here as well for you guys. And so just send us an email, 365inspiredliving@gmail.com.
Beautiful words like love and magical and blessed and amazing and alive and thankful and aligned. Beautiful words. I love it.
You guys were using beautiful words, and Kevin, just like most of our tribesters, does not give a rip about the one word rule. Just let them flow. I love that. We are never strict with that rule. We just say one word, how do you feel? And then people go, amazing and inspired. Totally fine. So tribe, we love you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the contribution.
Yeah. For all your messages, your words. Also, there's something exciting coming up on the Inspire channel. Generally speaking, we're fast approaching the 100,000 subscriber mark, which is pretty cool. We're really excited. So that's going to happen in the next week sometime. And yes, that's going out tomorrow. I think tomorrow or Thursday. The official invitation for the EUCY retreat. It's going to happen in Cape San Blas, Florida at the end of September. That's going to be the first official inspired in-person retreat on a beautiful beach in Florida, Cape San Blas. That's going out tomorrow or Thursday, the invitation. So if you haven't signed up, in the description of this video, you can sign up for our email newsletter. If you just click on the free gift, the Inspired Launcher, it'll get you right there. And then you'll get an email from us. And hopefully we'll see you at the EUCY retreat in Florida. The group size is limited, so if you feel inspired, jump on it. As soon as you get the email, let us know. Reserve your spot. We don't want to make it too big of a group because it's going to be a really transformational journey. And most of all, we're going to really go beyond what you do every day, what you think every day, how you plan your day every day, the habits of your everyday life. We're going to go into something new. And we're going to create spiritual experiences that are new. We're going to create emotional experiences that are new. And we're going to create physical experiences that are breakthrough experiences. So all of that's happening. It's going to be really wonderful. So Tribesters, a lot of beautiful things to come. Keep tweaking. Keep twerking if you want to. We love you all. We'll see you on Thursday, 2 p.m. Central, right here on the Inspire channel. Mwah.